Oh! This scales up and down. I forgot that. Huh, some of you were probably yelling at me before. I was all worried about... Yeah, I'll scale up that. I can scale up, attached below there. .57. Five. There we go. That's like, I like to see a nice thick sustainer stage. Even scale up the coupler a little. It was bigger than this. Although that's a stack separator. You can just use a bigger one. I unlocked the node for this more recently. It's already attached to the grand part. Boom. All right. This does create issues with a lip, which means I probably need a fairing. Oh. I'll scale that down. Everything fits inside this just barely. Might be a little clipping on the lights and those batteries. Alright. I need a... There we go. And this can just attach to the bottom of this. Well, this must be there. Now we can size this up to, what is it, 1.875? Oh, it's just hit one button to get that size. Boom. I don't actually need to size this engine plate up because there'd be a fairing. It'd be all covered. I only need a big enough engine plate for the size of the stuff that attaches to it, actually. Although this does determine the strength of the connection between this and this. Connection strength. Let's see, stats. You can see this under braking force, braking torque. Braking torque is the connection thing, I think. So yeah, actually I do need a full-sized engine plate, even though I don't need that much area. Also, if I think the rocket's wobbly enough to be... You know what? No. That's fine. Save mass. At the risk of wobbliness. Okay. Instead of a straight shroud and constant diameter, at the interstage things get wider. But this allows a much heavier sustainer than before, which is where I'm at. It's a 2-meter sustainer, it's a 4.5-meter launch stage. And all the staging is messed up. All of it. This counts as a decoupler. This goes up here. This with it. Parachute's at the top. Yeah, cover that. Empty stage automatically. Okay, boom. Oh, this is what goes down here. Then which? That's this. Yeah, okay, that belongs there. Alright, burn time of the sustainer, 8 minutes, 46 seconds. I'm gonna have engine failures. That's such a long burn time, and that's not enough thrust. I have to upsize these significantly. Let's try this. 3.5 meters. So for those of you wondering what the heck I'm building, this is a probe that's going to be used for orbiting the moon and doing lunar impactor. Hello viewers, yes, yeah, you folks wouldn't have known. It's almost done. It's a redo of my solar probe that did a lunar flyby, although it probably could have done it on its own thrust. I say that, but I was getting engine failures because of the long burn times this upper stage, which hasn't changed substantially. It was almost 10 minutes of burn time for engines rated at only 5 minutes. So 2/3 of the engines failed, and I wasn't even done with all the fuel on it. So I probably actually did need that flyby to get into solar orbit. This is actually going to have to travel more total burn time. And I can't rely on the upper stage for all that. I'm not even sure. I might want to reduce the fuel load on this. Change this fuel tank to something else. Oh yeah, everything here is outside the atmosphere. So maybe the reason I put NTO higher up is because it raises the center mass. It's denser, but I could make it more balanced. If I want. Either way, this needs to be smaller, or I need to upsize the engines. Maybe I just do that. That's one way to avoid engine failures. The engines don't burn as long. Did I add an extra stage for no reason? Looks like it. Every time I mess with anything. This bongs. That's an engine. It's trying to select this. Alright. Bearing. Oh, because I need this. This is the top bearing, which should be in its. There we go. Boom. That bearing, that's an air stage bearing. This belongs down here. Oh, okay. Alright, that's 5 minutes of burn time on the uppermost stage. I shouldn't have many problems with engine failures at that scale. But I could probably make the engines a little smaller. It would lead to longer burn times, and that's just a hassle, so probably not. Okay, 5 launch engines. Let's test them before launch clamps. Partway up, I get rid of the fairing. Just checking the staging, guys. Looks like all my people are working, and they left. I had like 4 viewers, and then they're all gone. It wasn't a raid even, it was just a bunch of viewers all came in at once. Could have been bots, because I mentioned the word Israel, and they're trying to see if it was something that I was mentioning. I stopped by a politics sub, and there was a guy talking conspiracy theories. Looking to mass report. Well, I didn't say anything reportable. Trolls. Stupid monsters. But you stop engaging in censorship and start introspecting more. Well, not the trolls. The trolls are usually for hire, but the people paying for the trolls. Because, you know, what you get is you get these troll farms in the third world, and people work for like $1 a day and pretend to be Americans, whatever, and they'll go on like Twitch and YouTube and report people that like and downvote content that their employer doesn't like. It's not that they like, because they're just being hired to. It's a whole thing. There was some reporting on it a long time ago, though I'd be surprised. It's probably hard to find nowadays because it's probably been buried. It's a politically sensitive issue. When there was the Russiagate thing and the Russian government was doing it to the United States, there was a lot of reporting. But now when it's the US and Israel doing it to other countries, they don't want people to know about it anymore, even though it's exactly the same thing Russia did. You'd say the US took a page out of Russia's book, except the US had been doing it all along. Everyone had always been doing this. All the major governments do some amount of it. Just a tactic. As soon as the internet came around, they probably started figuring out they could do this. Like all the different governments, intelligence agencies. It's just, why wouldn't you? Cheap. It's cheap because the third world labor is cheap that actually does it. Usually English-speaking countries, or places where English is a very common second language, like India or Bangladesh. You know, just like you get call centers in Bangladesh, you get troll farms in Bangladesh. It's the same thing. It's because the labor is so cheap. Alright. Anyways, hydrolocks. I actually need the one decoupler there. Why do I have 2 here? I had it before to create room for this thing, and then I ended up increasing the diameter. Some of you are probably viewers on YouTube, whatever, probably like yelling at me about that. There's no need for that. Just attach the probe port directly to the bottom of the inner stage. I mean, at the bottom of the engine plate, inner stage node there. The decoupler is useless because this has a built-in decoupler. Just the good thing is it does get the stages further apart quicker. I doubt that's worth the part count or weight or cost. Alright. Down to 86 parts. I guess it was 87 before. Somewhere I must have added an extra part. Before it was 88. Alright, this thing needs to be bigger. Now would this make a stronger connection? No, I don't have any clipping nonsense going on here. Now would that make for a stronger connection, but it will give me control I need if I'm actually going to fly the sustainer down to the ground. Oh. Oh. Where are the batteries that I had here? I lost them at some point. Batteries not included. Like, there should be more batteries. Alright, these are going to be scaled down. Could make fewer to reduce parts. Bam, but there's a real advantage in terms of moving the center of mass a little closer to the core. This way. And I think batteries can get part failures, but it's not likely for such a short. Kerbalism doesn't mention it, so maybe not. And my first solar arrays, although I don't think these hold out on their own. Like the wings, but not very graceful animal. It says extend panel, retract panel. Why is this one... What's the difference between the Swan PA1 and PA2? It looks like it's exactly double the mass, double the electrical output. I guess it's a matter of... It doesn't look like... It's not... One of them doesn't have a heat shield either. I guess there's a matter of redundancy. Yeah, that's about it. You want more of the cheaper one. You're going to be risking some solar panel part failures. Huh. These are supposed to... The photo aux stats are supposed to only... They're supposed to be rated for a year and 55 days. I had them... Like, after, 6 days in orbit, they were already failing. What? What's with that? It was minor failures that could be fixed, but... Maybe it's because of the very hard radiation that the thing was getting in solar orbit. I don't know. Oh. I need... Somehow I merged up... This belongs down there. Cool. Stage got messed up again. Alright. Yeah, sizing up the sustainer probably needs the extra. Now... thinks that these are sized for 4 meter a second velocity. I'm not sure that's true. Saved. This is just so I can get rid of everything that's not here. Briefly empty most of the fuel tanks and see what the mass is. .312. So this last fuel tank is the only thing I wouldn't have this much delta V. Probably more like this. So it's about 1.2 tons that I probably need to gear the parachutes for. Okay. I think it's labeled Lunar Orbiter, has less reusability. Might want to get rid of it. It's much less refined design with less reusability in this. Kept it because it still has, I think I could rework into a different class of rocket. It's still useful. Astra, if I did this the heaviest part, I think it would go down to something way down here. It's probably be starting a very light to very heavy part. It'd probably break off. Thinking if there are more auto struts I want. Probably not there. Now this can auto strut the grand part. I'll disconnect it to the probe core. Think about this reaction wheel. I mean, it's parachute editing time. Input craft mass was 0.6, now it's 1.2. It's about twice the weight of the sustainer as before. One touchdown speed. I think I can play with a little lower touchdown speed than before. Parachutes used 2. No spare chutes. I haven't seen any benefit to those yet. When chutes fail, I think they fail everywhere. And deployment altitude 6.4 kilometers. If these go too low, the dynamic pressure tends to actually keep climbing for a while. 21. Oh yeah, full deployment speed 6. Well, that does do the force over a greater amount of time. Maybe I should leave that alone. But if it's going to take that long, I think I want to deploy them even higher up. Let's say 7.2 kilometers. Okay. Thinks it's 9.6 meters a second. Empty. I will have to use the engine to summon the stupid thing. Okay, the sustainer has 1.26 thrust, 3 minute 25-second burn time. That's easily within the 5 minute, almost 6 minute burn time that those engines hail. This, yeah, I shouldn't have any engine failures due to prolonged burn anywhere. 0.86 thrust here. Gives me a little spare in case I'm wrong about the engine failures. So you get some random in anyways. So my thrust weight ratio is still acceptable if I lose 1 or 2 engines. Redundancy. Usually cheaper than going for more reliable, high quality engines. Quantity has a quality all of its own or something like that. Which is a phrase demonized, but historically it was Stalin talking about the benefits of in war production I'm gonna have to completely recalculate this, of having just so much stuff that you can overwhelm the enemy with a sheer number of troops on the battlefield. And no, this was not human waves throw human lives around. It's actually the philosophy that if you have more soldiers on the field of battle, that they can support each other and you'll actually lose fewer men. Soviets did take horrible losses in the Eastern Front, but it wasn't because their war strategy was whatever human wave nonsense that the fascists want people to believe. It was because the Germans were a much more scientifically advanced power. The Germans, the Romanians, the Hungarians, the Bulgarians, these were the Axis powers. These are all nations that willingly joined the Nazis. The Italians. Austria sort of eventually. So, the Axis powers were Italy, Austria, Germany, Romania, Bulgaria, and Hungary. Oh, and to a degree, Slovakia and not Slovakia, Slovenia, and to a degree, Slovakia. There was a puppet government set up in Slovakia after Czechoslovakia was basically annexed, and then the Germans maintained control of the Czech part, and Slovakia they spun off as a fascist puppet state. And Slovenia, you had not the Stasi, the Eastern Police Force, I don't remember, a fascist terrorist group basically that continued to commit terrorist attacks after the end of World War II in Yugoslavia. That was basically committed genocide. They were very aggressive at rounding up groups they didn't like in Yugoslavia, and they willingly sided with the Nazis and had a short-lived puppet government as well. Or was that? No, that was not Slovenia. Sorry, Slovenia. I'm not trying to offend anyone by saying this. These are just the history of countries, unfortunately. Croatia, that's what it was. Croatia, Slovakia. Those are the two. They didn't willingly join the Axis, but they became puppet states, and they found collaborators. The Nazis found willing collaborators in these countries after overthrowing the legitimate governments. But Romania was pressured into the Axis after they were outside the Axis, and the Nazis bullied them into giving up territory in Transylvania, and then they joined the Axis. That wasn't really super willing either. Hungary and Bulgaria saw the writing on the wall of the Transylvania thing and what was going on there, so Bulgaria was kind of like Romania, an unwilling participant to a degree, but not entirely. They made a hard decision and joined the Nazis. But Hungary very willingly joined, just like Italy. So Italy, Hungary, and Germany were the completely willing members of the Axis, and then the rest were to some degree bullied in. You can even say that Mussolini, but felt pressure. But you make an alliance with the devil. It doesn't matter if you felt pressure to doing it. Why did I even mention that bit of history? There was an important reason. It wasn't just for the heck of it. Oh yeah, because fascist propaganda about quality, quantity, all of its own. That was a Stalin quote, and I was mentioning on people. The Nazi propaganda about Stalin has become like the CIA realized it was useful propaganda, and they continued to parrot it after the Third Reich fell. And a lot of things people now believe about the Soviet Union were literally made up Nazi claims that had no basis in reality. Alright, this is the topmost fuel tanks. This should just be at 0 priority, -10. Actually no, this is the topmost up here. It should be +1, +2. +3. I doubt I'll get to the +4 to this mattering, but it does at the very least help a little with thrust vectoring, controlling the rocket if I need to change the angle during ascent. +4. Oh, wait. Plus 5 because they reduce the number of parts. 6, 7, 8, plus 9, there we go.